Alright. Quadra magic cheese or not? I'd say probably not. I mean, we don't need it. I usually don't get it unless, like, I really think I'm gonna want it. What else? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get it, but not use it. That way, if we run into something that we do want to use it, we have it. Patched. Oh, I just realized he took my frickin' armor. I forgot to take it off him. That's alright, we got a dragon armlet. Dragon armlet's neat. Is that it? Need to catch you up, Taco Cat. Hey, not a bad enemy to fight. Ketchup does not go on Taco Cat. I should have given Steel to Red 13. Nice. Yeah, I might as well get some money. So let's see, what else? Probably just go ahead and go to Mediel and start getting Cloud back. I don't think there's anything else we want to do. Mr. Lord, thank you for the 25 months! Yeah, I'm pretty much planning on blitzing the rest of the game until we get to Safer. And then we have to do some funny memes to do post-game. But until then, like... Well, actually, I have to do some funny memes before we go to Safer. How's it going, Tony? Oh, I said funny memes. Not those funny memes. What are you doing? How could you do this? What have you done? You want a Fortnite joke or a Harry Potter joke? And no, there isn't a right answer. Fortnite? Knock knock. Who's there? Verge. Verge who? Verge whose like commitment to your squad will serve you well in Fortnite. Virtue? Virtues.
Awesome! We're gonna fail.
It's supposed to be like virtue? Virtues like commitment to your squad will serve you well in Fortnite. Knock knock. Who's there?
Come on, man.
Zoe. Zoe who? Zoe gonna play Fortnite or what? Turtle. It's if you can deliver it well, you can make any joke funny.
Stay away from the summoner.
Even the worst joke can be funny if you deliver it well enough.
Come on, man.
Are you happy now? Did you get what you wanted? Wait, what am I doing? I was at Mediel, and then I was like, let's go to Mediel, and then I went to Wutai. No, I'm not fighting Godo again. Not yet. I'm fighting him at the absolute last moment we can. Oh, that's what I should get. I should go get greens. Alright, I always forget. Are the greens from the sage or not? I guess wrong every time. I think they're from the farm. I might as well go get the enemy skill. Who are you? Me? I don't know. That pause always makes me laugh. Me? I don't know. Yeah, what is that guy gonna look like in the remake? What are the ancients in the temple gonna look like too? If you talk to Sage, he gives you different hints on how to do the Chocobo stuff. That's pretty much all he's there for. Yeah, I don't know why so many Chocobos have materia. Kinda suspicious. Shut up! Try the Chocobo. Shut up. Yeah, we tell the truth to this guy, right? I don't have enough for the comb. If you want to live with your conscience. Ooh. Why does Tifa look like she's in fast motion during this part? All her animations are so fast. She's like embarrassed, so her moves are like super fast. Race car! It must be race car! Race car! Yo, boob! I never would have thought these names would, like, heighten the experience by so much. Race car, what's happened to you? Yeah, we beat Triple Genova. We didn't have to grind either. But, it did become a lot easier when we found out that Bad Breath Frog's one of them. Not only frogs, but completely broke. Once it was frogged, it just sat there and did nothing. Which was a more fun solution than just grinding, so I'll take it. I just realized I bought a weapon for Tifa. You don't even use Tifa. Why did I buy her a weapon? I was thinking, like, you use Tifa first and then you use Sid, but you don't really use Tifa, you just come here and then she's gone. Unless you want to do Wu-Tai now. You don't need to use Tifa yet, or use her at all. This part's gonna be so crazy in the remake. And like, it really pulls at your heartstrings here, but how much is it gonna pull your heartstrings in the remake when the party's like, we gotta go save the world, and Tifa's just like, no. Like, I'm staying here. I'm gonna be blubbering. I'm not gonna be able to handle it. I love how Reeve is just standing there recording the conversation and no one notices. He's like, alright, I have to record this conversation for the party. How am I gonna do this in an inconspicuous way? And he just like T-poses in the corner like, I'm not recording. No, I'm not recording. Like, dude, sit in the chair or something. See, Xerxes, have a good Easter. Man, Easter's freaking Sunday, dude. It's crazy. Wait. Like, I knew I was getting ready to do Easter stuff this weekend, but it still didn't even, like, snap in my head that Easter was Sunday. I just knew I was, like, getting ready for Easter this weekend. I think the whole family's coming here. We're gonna do, like, an Easter egg hunt at our house with the boys. And my in-law niece and nephews. Yo, space caps! Pain in the butt, forget it. Dude, Sid is gonna be so great in the remake. Sid, you gotta do it. You gotta save the whole world. You gotta be the leader and help us save the world. Nah. Pain in the butt. Alright, since we only have 12 minutes, we'll just do this and then call it the day, and then we'll... Aw, oh, man, Tifa took her armor too, because I'm an idiot and didn't take that off either. At least we got the javelin, though. I liked, I know they're not going with any of the Advent Children people, but I did like Sid's voice actor in Advent Children. Thought he was good. I don't remember his name. I would like to see them go even grittier, though. Like, just... like, really just go crazy with him. He felt more like... and I mean, to be fair, he probably is at that point in the story. More of like a lovable guy. But he came across as like too nice and lovable in Advent Children. But that kind of makes sense for Advent Children. But I wouldn't want that Sid in the remake. In the remake, he's got to be like borderline jerk. Like really, really abrupt, really rigid. Is Chris Pratt busy? He's so cool. Hope I didn't botch it. I might have though with the big dude coming in. Crispin Freeman. Let's just get Will Smith. I think he'd be a good Sid. In fact, make him look like Will Smith too. Just have Will Smith be Sid. I think that would be perfect. Keep my rocket's name out of here. I think Will Smith is too much of a pretty boy. I do feel like that was a bit of a problem in some of his movies. Like I Am Legend. He looked way too well kept in that movie. Oh, this isn't believable. Jim Carrey. That's why I said he's not doing movies anymore. So he's gonna do the remake instead. Now it all makes sense. Alright, is there anything else we can do? Still got a little bit of time. I guess I could go over here. Prepare for the train. Jim would be a better Hojo. No, he's not. Hojo is like... like a scary evil. Not like a goofy, lost his mind evil like Jim Carrey. Like, Jim Carrey is a perfect Dr. Robotnik. Because Dr. Robotnik's like evil, but he's like evil to a fault. Like, he's goofy evil. Hojo's like maniacal. You know what I could do? Well, I don't really need it though. I could go fight worms and get some more dragon scales, but I'm not gonna need them. At this point, we're all set on damage at least. Jim Carrey as the entire remake cast. Now that I'll sign up for. Especially want to see Jim Carrey as Red 13. There are still children with the stigma. I'm surprised no one said Nicolas Cage yet. Usually when we have these discussions, it always ends up with Nicolas Cage being everyone. I don't think it would be good. But I genuinely think Nick Cage could make some kind of Sid. Like, he could be that, like, gruffy, ain't take nothing from no one kind of guy. Like, he could do it. It wouldn't be Sid, but it would be entertaining. It would not be an accurate Sid, but it would be entertaining. Nicolas Cage could be Vincent. He could be Vincent. I actually think he could be Vincent. I think he could pull off Vincent, 100%. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy my favorite song. We're gonna steal the Declaration. We're not doing William Dafoe. Gilbert Gottfried would be a perfect Kate Sith. I don't know if he could do the accent, but if they took the accent away, which there's no reason for him to have the accent other than just, like, the folklore. I know he's dead. Rest in peace. What? I don't even know who that is. I actually kind of wonder what Kate Sith's gonna be like, because in the movie, he's like way over the top, which works because you only hear him talk like twice. But I can't imagine that version of Kate Sith being like throughout the whole game. You know what I'm talking about? In Advent Children? Like, he is so over the top. Can barely even understand his accent. Yelling at the top of his lungs every time he talks. Like, if that was the way he was in the remake, it would get really annoying really fast. I don't know. I feel like he's more level-headed. he has these arguments with Barrett, and he's like the more level-headed one than Barrett. Barrett's like yelling, and he's like hitting him with facts, you know? So I don't really see Cait Sith as like a wild, like, just losing his mind, screaming dude. Like, he gets excited when he tells people's fortunes, but that's just like his shtick. I don't think he's like constantly losing his mind when they're just adventuring. I want him to be a bit less crazy. And we don't need that many crazy characters, because you already have Yuffie, and you already have Barrett yelling, and then you have Sid, like, dropping curses every other word. You have Cloud to kind of be the calm one. You have Tifa in the middle, Aerith to be another calm one. Other than that, everyone else is going crazy. Well, I guess Red 13 is too. There's such a great dynamic in the party between calm characters and crazy characters. It's honestly just going to be so great listening to them talk. We haven't really gotten too many like party scenes in Remake Part 1 because everyone's always split. But in Part 2 and Part 3, there's going to be a bunch of scenes where they're just in the Highwind all talking to each other, or at the Gold Saucer all talking to each other, or you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of scenes where they're all just standing around talking. You don't really get any of that in Part 1. You don't really get any of that in Midgar. Really just at the end. So it'd be really cool to have a bunch of scenes where they're just talking and interacting with each other. Like, I really look forward to the scene in the hotel where they're just kind of discussing everything, and then, like, Sid falls asleep. Sid falls asleep, and Red 13's, like, worried about his tattoo, and, like, there's so many, like, cool moments in that conversation. Yeah, and, like, them in the buggy, chatting it up, and there's a lot to look forward to. I hope they lean into that. I hope they don't just split up the party all the time, or do it in a way where we don't get that. Like, I want to see the whole party interact. Yeah, like a dysfunctional family. I mean, I've said this before. One of my favorite things about Final Fantasy, the thing that really, like, stuck with me and made me want to play other games in the series other than just playing this one, is that whole feeling of, like, having a dysfunctional party that has to work together to save the world. And I think this game is probably, like, the ultimate example. I don't really know which one would be better than this. Maybe 6? Because 6, like, the characters are super random. And there's a lot of them. So, like, 6 might be a good shout. But, like, the thing about 7 is that at least Barrett, Tifa, and Cloud all know each other at the start. Then everyone else is kind of random. But 6 is, like, crazy. You just have, like, the most random characters that join in. So 6 might be an even better example, but... like, that was one issue I always had with 8. That I talked about when we played 8, is that they all know each other. At first they don't. At first they forget, but still. They all have this, like, past together, which is kind of... it doesn't ruin it for me, but it does kind of... it doesn't hit as good as having this, like, dysfunctional party that all know they have to stick together to defeat the evil, but have a hard time and have their different quarrels and everything. Like, it makes for a much more interesting story. 9 does it so well, too. I just think that 9, like... I don't know, it's not as dysfunctional, I guess. It's mostly Zidane and Steiner, but the interactions between Zidane, Steiner, and Vivi, and a little bit of Garnet, but mostly those three, is like one of the greatest, you know, character development things ever. It's so awesome to see them develop over the game, and their conversations develop over the game. It's gotta be one of the best trios in the whole series, is those three, and how they evolve over the game. Steiner is honestly, like, so underrated. He's one of the best characters in the series. Whenever I see, like, votes for best character or, like, you know, just videos about Final Fantasy characters and stuff, Steiner's kind of not mentioned much, but he's such a great character. Vivi definitely gets all the spotlight in 9. Yeah, Celeste is great too. But Celeste, not so much for her interactions with everyone else. Celeste's more for herself. But yes, I agree. But, yeah, in terms of working off of other characters, Steiner's definitely one of the greats. Power ranking Final Fantasy characters would be tough. You would have to come up with more criteria other than just the best. Like, the best character on their own. The best, like, personality just in a vacuum. You could say, like, Celeste, or maybe Aerith, or maybe Cloud, or... I know Cid's a fan favorite, but... I don't know, I'd put Cid up there. Pinello. Pinello on the ground floor. How's it going, favored? We're just about to sign off, but I appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, and then, like, characters in terms of how they interact with other characters. I would say, like, Zidane, Steiner, maybe Tifa? I don't know. I don't know about that. Oh, another one that's good on their own, Barrett. Definitely. Beatrix. I would put Galuf up there, honestly. Galuf's so great. And, Terra. And maybe even Locke. Zell, I think, would be a good shout for, like, interacting with other characters. Zell gets a lot of hate. And I kind of understand it, but at the same time, like, he has his good sides. He's the comic relief. Yo, CJ, thank you for the 58-month tier 2. Thank you so much, CJ. I haven't even mentioned Final Fantasy X, because you know I'm going to say Yuna. And possibly Auron also. Here's my issue with Auron. A lot of people put Auron on, like, the absolute top tier best characters in the series. I can't argue that, but at the same time, I just feel like he's so mysterious for so long that you don't really get to know a lot about him. I look forward to eventually doing an in-depth on Auron, because that's like my main gripe with him, is that I just don't know enough about him to say he's one of the best. And to be fair, that's the way he's supposed to be, but yeah, it's just hard to put him on the level of, like, Yuna or Cloud, where, like, you get such a huge, in-depth understanding of everything they do and why they do it and their feelings during each part and everything. And then you have Auron, where it's like, you don't really know what's going on with them at all the whole game. You know? So it's hard to, like... It's hard to understand what makes him great. But... he is a great character, and part of what makes him great is his mysteriousness, so... I think the best thing about Auron is the spheres. when you get a history on him and you see how he wasn't like that when he was younger. Like he was way more like Titus when he was younger. That is really cool. That really gives him so much depth. Because if he was just like the tough, mysterious guy, I'd be like, okay. But then you see those orbs and you're like, wow, he wasn't like this until the accident. So like, that gives him a lot more relatability. Is brother below Pinello? Yes. He's below every character ever. Which is such a shame because he was okay in the original. I'm glad you separated brother from X2 brother. Like specifically X2 brother is the problem, not the original brother. You know who's a really good character? Who? Balzac? Yes. Balzac will always be S tier. Recently I went back through Spira right before Macalania Temple, and lots of people say things about the Warrior Monks faction, which I believe Orin was the leader of, or the greatest. That kind of informs some of Orin's past before the pilgrimage. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I mean, you know I'm going to do an in-depth on Orin at some point. It'll be really interesting to learn more about him, because I really don't know a lot. Me? Am I a character? Yeah. Orin, that's what's cool about Orin, is you're like, all the other characters are changing, but Orin stays the same. And you're like, when is this guy going to get any character change? Like when are we going to see some development? But then you see the orbs and you realize the development already happened, you know? We get to Orin post change, you know? Which is cool. It's a different way of telling a character's story. Instead of you seeing them change, you get them when they're already changed, and then you learn about the past. It's interesting. And he does change throughout the game, but not as much as the other characters. Right. He already had his journey. And he's there to, as the wise man, basically, who's already been through the journey, to point the newcomers in the right direction. That's cool. You don't think Tifa makes a drastic change? I would definitely argue that. Although I would say, other than Aerith, she probably makes the least amount of change. She has her one big change, which is being honest. Finally opening up to Cloud, being honest about the past. All that. But other than that, you're right. She doesn't make a lot of change. Aerith doesn't change, but that's on purpose. And then everyone else changes a lot. Somebody stop me, I'm making a tier list. I think I've poisoned you to make lists about everything now. Yeah, Yuffie's character arc is great. Well, okay. See, I don't really include Yuffie and Vincent, though. Because the whole thing with them is that they're optional because they weren't finished, basically. Like, their stories weren't implemented into the main story enough, so they made them optional. So it kind of makes sense that they don't change much. They're just them. And then you have Sid, who obviously changes a lot. You have Barrett, who obviously changes the most. Although you have Cloud. I don't know. Who changes more, Cloud or Barrett? kind of, it would be a hard decision. Honestly, they both change so much. Kate Sith doesn't change a lot, but he does have these conversations with Barrett, and, like, you can see the change in him, and, like, Reeve changes as well, so, like, there's that. Red 13, he definitely develops, but not in a way that's, like, obvious. His whole thing is that he needs to grow up, because that's when you meet him, when you meet Bugenhagen, that's like, he's like, he has to grow up, he's still a teenager. So, like, this quest is him growing up. So in that way, it makes sense. And that's why at the end of the game, we get to see Old Man Red 13, because that's his arc. When you first talk to Bugenhagen, his big thing is, like, Red 13, Nanaki's still a teenager. And he's like, I'm not a teenager, Grandpa! And then he changes in Cosmo Canyon when it comes to his dad. He thinks his dad is evil, and then turns out that he isn't. So that's, like, his big moment. But then after that, his whole thing is growing up, so throughout the rest of the game, he matures, and then we get to see him as Grandpa 13 at the end of the game. That's such a cool little thing that I don't always pick up on, is how his main story element is growing up, and he's the only character we see at the end actually grow up age-wise. That's kind of cool. I mean, it makes sense because he's the only one still alive other than Vincent, but still, it's cool that connects. Where do his kids come from? It's understood that his kids come from the girl in Before Crisis. Her name's Denna. Because he likes her, but she... How does it go? He likes her, but she is, like, too into the tribe and, like, doing what's right for the tribe. So they never get together. But then she gets captured, and he rescues her, I think. But then he gets captured, and then he never sees her again. So what we can hypothesize is that he found her again sometime after the game. So basically, like, if I remember correctly, you have to watch the in-depth on Red 13, and I have all the info there. If I remember correctly, all of them are gone, like, no one knows where they're at, except Red 13, but given that he has kids, obviously he found someone, and Denna's the only one we know of, other than Red 13, so it just makes sense that it would be her. But there might be more of them, like, hiding out somewhere that we never meet. But the only two Red 13 characters we know are Red 13 and Denna, I think. Unless there's some other ones in Before Crisis, but I don't think there are. But she's the only one that matters. She's the one that is memorable. And I'm pretty sure he literally, like, likes her. And he saves her, so makes sense. But yeah, we don't know. I don't think it really matters. But you think she'll show up in Rebirth? That'd be cool. But I want to see... It would be cool to see some more, like, flashbacks of stuff that they talk about in Before Crisis and Crisis Core. Even just small ones. Because I don't think we need all the Before Crisis nonsense. Like, it's too much. But just little things. Like, oh yeah, by the way, there's another Red 13 girl. Oh, by the way, this is what happened with Barrett that caused all the problems with Shinra. Oh, by the way, Barrett used to go to Cosmo Canyon, and he formed the original Avalanche, or the second coming of Avalanche. Oh, by the way, there was an original Avalanche before Barrett's Avalanche, and they did all this stuff. Like, just kind of like small little info tidbits about stuff that you don't get from the original game or Crisis Core. Plus, I gotta see Red 13 as a cub. Like, that has to happen. We have to have that. I don't care how they spin it. We have to have a flashback with Bugenhagen petting Red 13, the little baby cub, because that'd be the cutest thing ever. So we got to make that happen. Whatever we got to do, whoever we got to call. This is an official announcement to Square Enix. Please put Red 13 as a little baby cub in some flashback so we can all go, aww. Yeah, and then put him in the sailor outfit. Honestly, we're just going to use Red 13 so hard. Like, I do hope that Red 13's gameplay is fun. Because I want to play as him so bad. No, I don't know anything about that book. I'm not jumping at the bit to read it either. Maybe I'll read it like right before part 2 comes out. Like when they announce part 2, maybe I'll read it. I don't know. I'm just right now with like finishing up the in-depth of Cloud and everything. I'm just trying to keep my head in original continuity. I don't want to get too wrapped up in remake continuity. But when part 2 is like coming, then I'll get back into remake continuity. I have not read On the Way to a Smile, like, cover to cover, but I've read a lot of different little parts of it and synopsises on it and stuff. What has nice info? The new book? The new book is remake continuity, though. So that doesn't... The in-depth videos are original continuity. I will do separate in-depths for remake continuity when the remake's over. Or at least that's the plan, unless I feel like there's not enough there to talk about. But yeah. No, the in-depth videos are complete. Like, they are... Because there's no more normal continuity stuff, so, like, they're complete. There's some things that I've found after the fact that I'm like, oh, I wish I would have talked about that, but that's just the way YouTube videos go. You're always going to miss stuff, or you're always going to have something that you want to add later, but in terms of, like, new stuff, that's all remake continuity, so that's a different video, you know? Any ideas that stuck from suggestions for other in-depths? Oh, you mean like characters? Man, there's been a lot. So many people commented about the remake, or the next in-depth videos. The one that still blows my mind is Mega Man. So many people asked for Mega Man. I'm like, really? That's, like, I love that idea, but it's just crazy to me that so many people are into Mega Man like I am. You know, because I always really liked Mega Man's lore. And, you know, the games obviously as well. And I'm speedrunning Mega Man right now, but when I was growing up, me and my buddy used to, like, actually get really interested in the lore of the characters, and, like, especially with the X series, because we had X4 and X5. And I think what made it interesting to us is that we never played X1, 2, or 3. We just had 4 and 5. So, trying to figure out the lore of all the characters was extra interesting because we were missing all of the stuff before. So we're like, who are these people, and why do they talk like this, and why is this guy evil, but they're saying he wasn't evil before? So, like, trying to figure it all out was, like, really interesting without actually having the other games to go off of. And just all the different, like, Mega Man characters and how they come to be and stuff, and that all, like, really interested me. Yeah, like, what the heck is a Reploid? So that was always fascinating to me, and nowadays, I don't know, it's just weird. Like, I thought that most people would ask for RPG characters, which they did, but seeing people kind of going outside the box and being like, what about a character that's not an RPG character at all? Like, the opposite of an RPG character, like Mega Man. Was really interesting, and it makes me want to do it because I kind of want to challenge myself to do a non-RPG character to see how different that video would be, you know? So, yeah, that one definitely stuck out. A lot of people asked about Auron. A lot of people asked about, what was the other one that was, like, kind of surprising? A lot of people asked about Kratos. which was interesting. I kind of wonder why. I wonder if people are just interested about like the connection between the originals and the new, or if people just want to know about the original, maybe they only played the new, and they want, like, the added stuff thought about the original, like, I don't know. But for some reason, Kratos was really up there. Vivi was really up there. Zidane was up there. I'm interested to see what happens when I put it on the Patreon. So I'm going to be doing the Patreon poll soon, but I want to get like pretty far into the in-depth of Cloud before I do the poll. That way you're not doing a poll for a video that's out in like 3 months. So I want to get like more than halfway done with Cloud, and then I'll do the poll on Patreon for the next one. But I'm really interested to see what those results are. And I'm just going to pick from pretty much the most asked for ones in the comments, and then all the Patreon people will vote. Kefka, Hojo. I didn't hear as much Kefka and Hojo, actually. A little bit, but not as much as... Oh, you know the other one? Crash Bandicoot. It was like 10 people that asked for Crash Bandicoot. I'm like, wow, that's wild. Like, it's a cool idea. But who's sitting around like, man, I really want to know the in-depth lore of Crash Bandicoot? Yeah. It's a really weird, crazy choice. But now that they mention it, I'm like, that's a cool idea. That would be an interesting one. Especially with, like, because Crash Bandicoot had, like, a show at one point, and, like, a lot of, like, random lore sprouted about different random games and projects. So that would be a good one to do, because it would be very hard for a casual fan of Crash Bandicoot to have any idea about the extended lore, you know? Because it's kind of out there. So that would be a cool one. Spyro, I think, would be less interesting than Crash, but it could still be cool. Spyro would mostly just be going through each iteration of his series. So there's like the original series, and then there's the reboot, and then there's the reboot, and then that's pretty much it. Then there's like his random appearances in like Ratchet and Clank and Crash Bandicoot. Sly again is a bit of a shame because he just kind of has his 4 games and that's it. Sly should have gotten a show, man. I would have watched the crap out of that show if Sly got a show. Yeah, if I remember correctly, Spyro has some random appearance in a Ratchet and Clank game. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm misremembering. You think the Final Fantasy VII Remake will fix the train tracks on this screen before the train leaves the reactor to get to Coral? Like the fact that somehow the train just jumps these giant holes in the track? Yeah, I don't know. I think the remake will probably fix that. Alright. That was a fun, nice little conversation we had. And we brought YouTube along with us, so hope you enjoyed. That'll be the end of Pincer Mod. Thank you guys so much. I have a couple other things I want to say before we jump off, but let's say goodbye to YouTube now that we had that great conversation. Thanks for watching Pincer. Hope you enjoyed. The triple Genova fight was crazy, but we got it done. And now we just have huge materia. We got carry armor coming up. We got diamond weapon coming up. We got double Proud Claude coming up. Double Turks coming up. So there are some exciting fights, you know, awaiting us. And then after we get out of that, we have some shenanigans to do so that the end of the game is possible. So all that and more next week. Thanks again, YouTube. We'll see you in the next episodes. Peace.